Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar, The Future of Offset Printing, Faster, Smarter, Greener. Presenting today is Fred Doriou, the Global Project Manager at Rutherford Graphics Products. I'm Robert Grotans, the Global Experience Manager, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. I just want to go over a few things before we get started. Due to the number of people that are attending today's webinar, we will keep everyone muted. If you have any questions during today's presentation, please feel free to use the questions function on the GoToWebinar panel, and we will have some time at the very end to answer a few of your questions. Finally, this webinar will be recorded, and we will follow up with an email after this webinar with a link to the recording so that you can watch it again. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Fred to get things started.
Hello, everybody. Pleased to meet you. Like Robert said, I'm Fred. I'm G7 master and foie gras enthusiast. My job is to focus on print standardization and color management for the offset industry. So it could be packaging, commercial web. And the main target for us is to focus on automation and standardization. Could be for small business to large company across the world. We have managed many projects with a very operational approach. The idea is to be on the field and to find what could fit best the press room, and the ink etching, all the service. So let's go. So the main topics today are going to be three different topics: faster, smarter, greener. The idea is to review what are the main points here according to the experience we have across the world for different kind of companies, and just to find the right way, what you should think about to move to this direction, because like you know, the future of the printing industry is not so easy right now. We need to be ready to anticipate what can be the evolution. I also love to put some citation. So here you have something from Henry Ford. If you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you have already have. So just think about it. You need to move, you need to change your process and to upgrade or update your way of working. So the first point is to see how we can improve the production speed and quality with the tools we already have. Like every industrial activity, we need to focus on some key points. Here, it's going to be for the press room, just to get better results. The challenge is we must go fast and we must be good for color. So the first thing is, like in any industry, it's all about automation. It means that we need to have automatic systems to measure the color, to control the color, to adjust the color. Idea here is to diminish the implication of the press operator, because they already have a lot of things to manage. So for this part, you already have some automation system that can help them. So here is automate the color control. That's going to diminish the setup time. No more guesswork, because sometimes you don't really know what should be the change of my density to adjust the color. And also you have the auto learning. So you don't need to readjust manually or to redo all the process in the pre-press to adjust the color on the fly. The second point for all industries is about standardization. Most of us feel that we have different process, different culture, different tools or presses. So you can have Heidelberg, KBA, Manroland, Komori, Mitsubishi, Akiyama, whatever you have. They're using different technologies. And so when you want to have a specific print, always the same time after time when you reprint, you're going to have some hard time to be able to reprint exactly the same print day after day. So what you print on Monday should be the same on Saturday. What you print in January should be the same in December. So here, coming back to the automation, you also, by mixing automation and standardization, you can manage all the tools you have and they can give you the same result. Next step is about exactly the in-key curves control. You need to have a better preset performance. It means that it must be adjusted automatically. It must be with self-learning. So time after time, whatever is aware of the press, the system is going to adjust automatically. So you always have from the make ready the right color. The second point is a closed loop. The closed loop efficiency is very important because that's going to offer you color control during the run. And remember, the first sheet and the last sheet should be the same. Color accuracy, color consistency. That's the main point to focus on, and you must have instant correction. So you're consistent across the run. Next step, depending the different companies we visited, but sometimes we have some hard time with the experience of the press operator. Right now, in many countries in the world, experienced press operator, they're just retired, okay? And we have some new guys on the press, they have no specific training, no experience, or very few, and they've got a hard time to learn from this. So here is, by bringing them automation, you're going to help them to achieve better result, better productivity, and a better quality. And remember, at the end of the day, quality is margin and is money for us. Bad quality, reprint, waste of time, waste of paper, it's money for us. So it's something very important. Focus on a system that is really adapted to the real life in the press room. It must be easy to use, fast to understand, very intuitive, ergonomic, so you don't need to have a keyboard, you don't need to have a mouse, no. Touch screen, well fitted on the console, no multiple screen everywhere, no. One screen, everything at the same place, and use your finger. Here we are about production, right? When you're in the press room, everything is about production. Just a short reminder, right now today, if you want to be G7 or FOGRA PSO, normally you should be M1 or M0. It's something you need to check out because sometimes press room is in M0, pre-press is in M1, so you cannot communicate together when we're talking about color. So something to check out. So you can achieve faster printing with automation, standardization, in-keys control, and easy to use and adapted to the press operator systems. Now let's move to the smarter part. It's a longer part. Here you see we have to work with different culture, different product. So you've got the pre-press on the left. Okay, they are going to do some kind of plates file, TIFF, ZIP3 file, whatsoever. They're going to send it to the press. And then you need to have some feedback to the pre-press for the next job. It's what we call a global production environment. It's impossible to put apart pre-press, in kitchen, press room. They need to work together. If one is not doing the proper job, the other are going to face some issue and you're going to be bad, quality speaking. Think about it. The weak point need to be fixed. So you need to create synergies between all your service. So here what could be done, you can have a software, for example, Otura, just for your in-kitchen. You can have your closed loop setup, like Rutherford and IntelliTrax, your preset setup, like the Rutherford, and then they can communicate all together. So you've got the right information from pre-press, producing good, and then send back information to your pre-press guy, say, hey, the curves are bad, we need to adjust the ink receipt, or you can also have reporting for the clients or the brands, depending who you are. Okay, so that the thing is, think globally. So the solution is to have something that can measure, adjust, and send back data to the other service. Make it easy. Smart is capable to adjust to the global environment you have. Smarter again, here it's about an open and universal system. Some of the clients, they have a hard time. It's also a kind of about standardization. You know, what you want, talking about standardization, is to have the same solution, the same way to use it, the same kind of communication workflow, whatever is the tool you're using. So find something that is not linked to a specific technology. It can be used with other technologies. So you can use ESCO, Measure Color, Process, ColorCert, Pantone Live, whatever. You must be open, and you don't care what kind of third-party software you're using. You want something that is fully compatible to everything. So think about it. Just open your mind to fit every different tools you have in your company. You can have a Heidelberg, a KBA, a Manroland, a Mitsubishi. The system should be the same for standardization purpose and for automation. Another part is something very important, because color in the offset industry is controlled in the press room through the ink keys. So if you have bad setup for your ink keys, that's going to be hard to get the right color. You're going to waste time, paper, getting poor quality, reprint, unhappy client. No one wants this. So it's something very important to control. Your system should adjust to the wear of the press. When your system is brand new, there's no problem. It just comes from the factory. Everything is standardized because our industry is quite well standardized anyway. But after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, different kind of maintenance, different kind of issues, you've got some drifting, okay? So the wear of the press and its part, your blanket, your rollers, you can also change the ink receipt, the paper, everything will change your ink keys reaction. It should be automatically updated. So whatever is the situation, your system can adjust your ink key curves automatically. Another thing is about manual adjustment. You may know, but visual appearance also, it's not so easy. Imagine you're a press operator and you have to check multiple different stuff to print. And if you say, okay, should I increase by 0.1, 0.2? I'm not sure. No, guesswork is waste of time. You're taking risks to do mistakes. So focus, make it automatic for it. So let's go, yes, produce. His job is to produce. So it's easy to monitor and to control with the automation. So at the end of the day, what's gonna help you to go for the next step is to go for auto learning on individual ink key curve to stay accurate day after day. So maybe in January, 1.2 for the yellow was good for this print, but maybe in August, it's going to be 1.1, 1.3, because the wear is different. You need to know, and the system need to know it to adjust it automatically. Okay, here is another way to present it. On the left, we've got a normal system. So for you've got your ink key opening, your ink key coverage, and then you've got a curve to fit it. Normally, it should be the same for all the ink keys. That's the situation when it's a brand new press. But for after some years of use and wear, it's impossible. Ink keys react differently. So you need to generate individual ink key curves so you know how every ink key react individually. If you don't do this, you need to do some manual adjustment, or you need to measure the sheet and adjust it, so you're going to waste paper. Remember, the closer you are to the color target from the make ready the preset, the higher is the diminution of waste of paper. So think about it: faster, easier. So here is the point. This is an evolution in the situation. A few years ago, no one was interested by sustainable development. But right now, society is changing. And many people say that we are we waste a lot of energy, we cut trees. So now part of our job is also to show what we're doing for this new development. And here is to explain people that, okay, we've got quite old technology, offset technology is quite old, right? But we can add some new development to make it faster, easier, less waste of time, less waste of energy, and we can upgrade the press efficiency of the tools we already have. You don't need to scrap a full press. You can use your working horse and you can upgrade it, and then you can achieve this new standard. It's something also that many brands we are working with ask the printers to do some kind of report yearly to explain how they are fitting their sustainable strategy. We help some client to do this kind of report. It's something that is more and more important in the industry. Just think also about the waste of paper. Paper is a huge part of our cost. So if you can diminish your waste of paper substrate and do some sustainable development, it's win-win, okay? Just a short focus. I know we have some people from the packaging industry here. Here are some brands we are working with or through the printers. Something very important, it's time to market. Because a brand, his job is to sell product. The print is just packaging for them. So when you're working for brands, they want to have the right color, consistent, accurate, yes, for sure. But something very important for them is you are able to deliver these prints within the right agenda so they can do more sales. Imagine you are a PepsiCo and because your print is not good, you have 2 days without any packaging. So 2 days without any sales in Costco or Walmart, that's going to be a huge loss of money for everybody. And it's part of our job to be able to deliver it with the right quality, the right color, at the right time, and to show also cost efficiency and sustainability. So to do so, it's also helped to keep a brand within your portfolio because sometimes brands, if they don't feel secure to work with you because you cannot deliver the right color, right packaging at the right time, they're going to move away. Like we said, at the end of the day, everything is about money, right? So here are some estimation we've done with a client about the return on investment of the solution we have implanted. So it's mainly IntelliTrax 2 and Rutherford, IntelliSet, IntelliLoop. This is what you can earn by going to a smart, speed, and green approach with these tools. Idea is to see how long it takes to pay for the full system. Okay, so web presses, it's super fast because the waste of paper is quite high and the speed of print is super high. So that's very fast. Packaging, 6 to 7 months. It's linked to the cost of paper and the request for quality. Commercial is most of the time cheaper paper, but it takes longer to adjust and to have the return on investment. But normally everything is done within a year, okay? The simulation we had with the client is about to have an average of 30 to 60% less waste of time and paper. So sometimes some clients, for example, if they are doing only CMYK, one pool, they are good to go. So preset, one pool, production run, that's it. Packaging, it's going to take longer because you have more specific point to manage, but that's a real simulation here. Oh, Bob, do you want to do the first poll, Bob?
Yes, I can pop up the poll now.
Okay.
We will show this poll for 30 seconds if you want to take some time to answer it. Did you know you can get individual ink key curves automatically done for your preset? We will just display this for a little bit here. Okay, I will go ahead and end it. It looks like we actually have a good mix of yeses and nos.
Okay, good. So it means that, guys, at least half of us are good on the good way to manage this. That's great. Okay, so now let's introduce to you the different products with their main added value in this part about a smart, greener, and faster production mode. Idea is to see two main tools, not going too deep, just fast explanation about this. The idea is to go for a fully optimized system because it's something I really push for the client. Make it easy for the production team. They've got a lot of things to manage. Go for automation, go for standardization. There is a tools. You can use them, make it easy, okay? So this one is one that is quite interesting because you can do M0, M1, the standard, but you can also do some other kind of measuring condition that can be convenient depending what you're doing, the kind of production you're doing. Something super important also is the digital library. It's something, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, we have a huge point with Pantone books. No, right now, the standard is digital standard. So here you must have a official digital Pantone library within your system. You don't need to do it by your own, no. You need to have the official standard from Pantone. Then you can create your own color library, it's not a problem. But when you say it's Pantone 251, it's Pantone 251 with this kind of spectral values all across the world, and it's not something different. So keep it like this. Pantone is Pantone, and only the digital library can achieve always the same result everywhere in the world. Something super important. Standardization. Another thing is about automation, best match. So the language of your press is thickness of ink, its density. But the client, especially in the packaging industry, they request LAB value. And so the idea here is to adjust both together. So you have the best LAB value, you have the best density, and they're going to fit together. The best match function is here for this point. You do your measure, and it's going to tell you, okay, with this kind of ink, CMYK, Pantone, whatever, the best result you can get is this delta E. So if you can't get the result, stop it. You probably load the wrong ink or you've got an ink receipt problem. And if you can achieve a better result, the automation, you say yes. And all the ink keys are moving automatically to the new density so you can get the best delta E result. Automation, super easy, super fast. You say yes, and everything is going to move automatically with a new density. 2mm color bar. I remember some client in the US and in Brazil, they wanted to use smaller sheet of paper because it's very expensive. And by switching from a 5 to 6mm color strip to a 2mm color strip, they can use smaller sheet of paper, and also it's easier to position the print on it. By doing so, depending the price of the substrate, they decrease the waste of paper, also depending the size of the press, by 10,000 to 25,000 US dollar per year, just changing the size of the paper. That's a huge adjustment. And also 2mm is very small, right, guys? With the auto tracking system, the system is going to find automatically where is the color strip. You don't need to be super careful. No, you put the sheet, you do the measure, it's done. Oops, sorry, my bad. Robert, can you do the next poll, please?
Yep. Have you heard about the possibility to have a 2mm color bar? It looks like this one is really close. It's about split, so yeah, it's a very close poll as well.
I would like to know what is the average size of the color strip right now, but we can do this poll right anyway. Okay, now it's going to be the part for the scanner. The IntelliTrack is a scanner, spectral scanner. Okay, so you have all the data, color, mechanical data, everything. But now you've got the data. What I'm going to do with the data? So now this system is going to take the data from your IntelliTrack, going to translate it in the press language, and is going to adjust automatically all the ink keys to get the right color result you ask for. It's done automatically. Just say yes, it's done. idea is to be fast. Automation, just say yes, easy to use. Normally we do the installation in the morning. In the afternoon, we begin the training with real jobs. So it's super easy to use. But also it must be intelligent to adjust the settings day after day. It's a self-learning feature. It's very important to keep accuracy across time. We also have some very, very thin capability of adjustment because we can go up to 0.001 density accuracy. So especially in packaging, it's something super important because when you've got light colors, a small change of density can have a big visual appearance effect. So you need to check this. Another point is it's compatible with all presses. Whatever the generation, whatever the brand, the system is going to work. It's also about standardization. You can have the same IntelliTrack, the same Rutherford, and different kind of press. It's going to work the same, and you can compare the prints because everything is about standardization there. Remember, it's super efficient and super important. And at the end of the day, this efficiency is mainly cost-oriented. Quality, I already said it, but quality is important, yes. But at the end of the day, over quality is not our purpose. We want to be efficient to deliver the right quality, no over quality, at the right price. It's also a kind of power of bargain with the client. Here is a short video from the marketing team about the way to use a system. You're going to see straight for production. Very easy, very straightforward. It must be easy to operate for the press operator.
How it works. Simply touch the preset button. Then scan your job on the camera. It's loaded automatically. Go ahead and inspect your job. Then touch Use Job and select the type of paper. Then click on Loop to select the IntelliTrack's template. Just follow the green button. The ink keys are set automatically. The preset is done. Now touch Measure. The IntelliTrack's vacuum maintains the sheet on the black rail. The head follows the color bar automatically. And look how cool. The Rutherford closed loop software moves the ink keys to maintain color correction. Finally, touch Yes. Closed loop is done. You are ready to run safely.
Okay, so like I told you, everything must be production oriented, fast and easy to use. Anyway, so let's summarize it. Right now, the environment for us is changing. We have more social pressure about sustainability. We have more pressure about productivity, about margin. So a few years ago, it was not such a big issue, right, guys? But right now, we need to improve our process. So we need to go faster with the right quality, to be more efficient with the tool we have, or just to have a small investment to make them working better. And everything like this is going to help to stay on the market longer, to be more efficient and more competitive. Another quotation from Mr. Einstein. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Remember, if today you have issues, it's going to be hard to fix these issues without changing something. It's as simple as this. If you stay ahead, you need to involve in your way of working. You don't need to change everything, but you need to focus on the right point. Automation, standardization. Let's go this way. Here are some case study from clients from different countries, diminishing the waste of paper, the speed of make ready. So you can find this on different websites. The thing is, everything is about waste of paper and time so far. Good quality, fast print. Different kind of companies, so packaging, commercial, could be Heidelberg, KBA, China also if you want, and with different brands. So that's it.
Awesome, thank you. If you have any questions that you haven't submitted yet, please feel free to do so. While we wait for questions to come in, I am going to launch one more poll question. If you'd like to learn more or get in touch with someone, please feel free to answer this. We would also be happy to have a private session with you if you would like. So yeah, just feel free to fill this in the way you would like, and we can certainly get in touch with you. But we can see if any questions do come in the meantime. So I see one question here. How exactly does the Rutherford and X-Rite solution reduce setup time and increase production?
Okay, so it's going to work on two different moments. The first moment is going to be the preset. The file, zip3 file is coming from the prepress with some kind of settings. And then you need to adjust the ink keys opening according to the ink coverage. You may have something automatic already or not. And by doing this, you're going to set up your ink coverage or ink density at a special level. But if your level is wrong, you're going to waste time and paper to adjust the ink density. Increasing ink density is quite fast, but if you are too high, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of shit to wash the ink, the over inked, inside the press. So that's why to have individual inky curve is very important, because that's going to help to be closer to the right density for this specific ink keys with different curves than the other one. So that's going to help to decrease the waste of paper and the waste of time here from a make ready perspective. Then you have the second part. It's going to be the closed loop. So here you need to have a digital color library, so it's not linked to the measure of a proof, 10 years old proof with some coffee stain on it. No, it's digital. You know on your paper, okay, I need to load this color. Okay, I load it. And know my target for the system is this digital target. So it's not a random measure down on a random pattern book that is here for years. No, this is a digital color library. So you're going to have the right one. And when you're going to check the visual appearance, you're going to be good. That's all things that's very important. Also the best match. The best match, like I explained, it's going to measure, it's going to calculate automatically the best density to have the smallest delta E as possible with the ink you have on your press. And when you say yes, okay, I agree with the system, the ink zone ink keys are going to be moved automatically to this new setup. So you don't need to do some manual adjustments, say, okay, this one is like this. No, everything is done automatically. So it's faster and more accurate. And remember, accuracy in our case means waste of paper, right? You're not accurate, you're going to waste paper, you're going to waste time. So no, let's do it automatically and let's move to this. Another point is the self-learning, because the wear of the press is something that is super difficult to manage for press operators, but also for pre-press, right? So here's a system need to learn how every ink is reacting time after time. So it's gonna propose automatically the right setup for this specific ink, for this specific paper, for this specific speed. You don't need to do the mathematics by yourself. It's super easy, right? And here it's also about automation. Remember, in these features, you always have the same approach: standardization, automatization. It's purely industrial construction. It's working like this, for example, in the car industry. It's going to work the same thing here in the printing industry. You've got the return investment that is linked to this. Because you are more efficient, you're going to produce faster, so you're going to improve your productivity, and you're going to decrease your waste of paper, waste of energy, waste of time. Just a number from the industry. Today, the OEE, operational efficiency, is 30%. That it means that you run your press for 100 hours, you produce to sell 30% on average, okay? And it's a very low average. So by using this kind of automation tools, you can increase this number by 30%. So it's a huge increase of productivity, huge decrease of waste of paper. That's going to generate more money, more margin, more efficiency.
Okay. How can we manage the difference of experience and knowledge of our team?
Yes. Here it's going to go through standardization and automation. Standardization is by having a system that is quite close, even if it's different presses. You can have some kind of communication about the best way to use a system. So for example, if you're using an IntelliTrax on the Rutherford, it's going to work exactly the same way for every press. Every press is different, okay? But this part of color control is going to work the same. You can share the same library, so you will have exactly the same digital values, digital targets, the same process. So you can share knowledge management, okay? The second point is going to put some automation here. Automation, we've done some numbers with a big packaging company. I can't give you the name, but it's a worldwide company. The point here is they've done some steps. So you've got press operator, beginner, average, senior, expert. And by using this kind of automation, a beginner jump directly to the next level. And it was the same thing for everybody. So by using this kind of automation, very easy to use. Remember, we don't need to have a lot of information, okay? When you are in the press room, you don't really care about dot gain. Well, it's too late. You need to check with the pre-press. So for you as a press operator, you're going to focus on density, water balance, delta. It's what you can control, speed, pressure, okay. But then that's it. So you need to have also different kind of reporting according to everybody. So the press room, they're going to focus on density delta E mainly. The pre-press, they can focus on dot gain, zeroing, whatever, changing the curve, they can do it. You can also need to have some specific reporting to the brands like ColorCert. So it's the way you're going to work. So by having this kind of tools, with automation, you can help expert people beginning to feel more expertise in their area and to feel more comfortable. And if they feel better, they can produce better. That's it.
You mentioned this earlier, so I'll go to this one. How long to get return on investment?
It depending your own case. I gave you some averaging, but it can be for 3 to 4, let's say 3 months to 11 months, but it's gonna depend your way of working. I'm not sure you want to share this kind of numbers to everybody here. So here we can have a short talk together just to do some mathematics to see what could be the return on investment for you. Let's say on average, you're going to decrease your waste of paper by 30 to 60%. We have some videos, we have some case study here on the website, rutherford.fr. You can see it. So somewhere from 30 to 60% waste of time for the make ready, 30 to 60%. Sometimes I've seen some clients used to have 40 minutes to do make ready, and with the system now 20 minutes is okay. But it depends the way you're working, the number of units, the kind of paper. So let's have a talk together, private talk.
Take a couple more questions here. How can we be sure to always get the same prints, colors from different print shops?
Standardization. That's the only solution today, because if today you've got different brands of press, okay? Mostly German press, okay? But they don't use the same technology, they don't use the same process, they don't use the same softwares. They may request you to have a specific workflow. It's a mess. So imagine if you've got an Heidelberg and a KBA, different measuring condition, different kind of tools. So here, the only solution, if you have different presses or different plants, sorry, is to use the same solution on the press. For example, Heidelberg is M3 condition. The standard should be M0, M1, but it's like this because when they've done it 20 years ago, that was what they want to use. Okay, it's a good press, okay, but that's not the standard. And if your KBA is in M1, for example, or M2, how can you compare the prints? It doesn't make sense. So here it's the same thing, standardize your tools. That's it. Whatever the press, don't care, do for the same thing. We've got some clients, for example, in China and in France, in this case, they're working for this company, okay? It could be Japanese presses, it could be German presses, KBA, Heidelberg. They don't care. They just want to have the same light gray every time, everywhere. It's not the brand problem, that's the printer problem. So think about it, standardize your product, and you can achieve same process, sharing knowledge between your operators and sharing prints from different plants, especially for the packaging companies. So you can aggregate your prints from different shops with no problem. But you must use the same kind of tools and you must share information.
Last question. I have different generation and brand of presses. How can I standardize my production?
I would say it's quite the same answer than the previous question here. You need to standardize your tools, okay? At the end of the day, offset printing is just thickness of ink, okay? Sharing inks, okay? Whatever generation, whatever brand, it's gonna use the same technology, okay? So don't feel stressed if your press work fine, is quite stable. Standardize with, for example, an IntelliTrax and a Rutherford solution for all the press, and then whatever the generation, you don't care. The oldest press I've done was in the US, 2 presses from 1995. And some weeks ago, I've done a press for 2022. Different generation, different brands, but now they can print the same, no problem. So standardization, and you don't need to have the latest generation to increase your efficiency. You can use your good old press working fine. People are experienced on it. You don't need to stop production for days just to install everything. No. Production, production, production.
Okay, that was the last question I am seeing, so that will mark the end of our webinar. Once again, if you would like more information, we would be happy to have a private session with you. Also, within the next day, you will receive an email with a link to this recording so that you can watch it again. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for joining and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Have a good day.